Sagittarius.
Hello Sagittarius, this is your July forecast for 2014, and I think you'll be excited about this month because why? The focus is going to be very much now so on relationships. Now here in June, last month, it was more about focusing on how you could streamline your day-to-day activities, okay? Get all your ducks in a row and so forth so you can be more efficient and accomplish and achieve more. And there might have been something on a health matter too. It might have slowed you down just a little bit. But now, see, Venus is moving into the 7th house of relationships. So it's going to be on the forefront. You will be speaking a whole lot more about your emotions, you know, how it's working for you, and listening to your partner, how those things are working for him or her. And that is also because Mercury is in this area. Both Venus and Mercury will be in the sign of Gemini, which is a communicative sign. And it's more all about relating, but also being good about listening, especially because it's in your partner's area, okay? So listen to your partner this month and you will get some great insights. Now Mercury is retrograde on the June side of this forecast if you're listening early, but it's going direct here July 1st. It will still be in your area of relationships, but then it's going to be moving into your 8th house. The 8th house is more about money. How are we sharing our resources? Are we sharing enough, you know? Are you putting your end of it in, or is he or she putting their end of the stick into the mix? This is going to be very highlight, also because the sun, the new moon, Jupiter is in this area of shared resources as well. So Mercury will be moving into this area here from July 14th. But until July 14th, Sun, New Moon, and Jupiter is going to be putting this into the picture. So you'll notice, just as July starts off, that might just need to be highlight here. Because the Sun, New Moon, and Jupiter is in the sign of Cancer, it's all about how we nurture each other and how, when we do, we feel loved, we feel included. And it's all about you also, you know, looking out for your partner, how he or she also is feeling included and loved, because why? You're sharing your resources with that person. And it's you also looking at how are they sharing with you. So yes, it's going to be deep. It's going to be heartfelt too, because the new moon here, not coming up before later on in the month, which will be here on the 22nd. But that would be the time to either have the deep talk, or at least put down your intentions as how the month has gone through and how these issues have come up, that you're promising yourself. That's what these intentions are all about, is promising self to stay on top of this area. You know, we might start out, you know, new promises, you know, all gung-ho and on top of it, and then we backslide, right? And then it just fizzles, and then here we go, and then we're building resentments and whatnot, and we can't really ask ourselves why these resentments are here if we have allowed them to slip, right? So we have to be looking out for keeping these things healthy at all times. That should be what this intention should be about. But having the Sun, the new moon, Jupiter, and then being visited later by both Mercury and Venus, that's like a big crowd there in your 8th house. So we're talking about money too, of what you are expecting. Maybe some of you have had some investments going on out there. In that case, this should be coming up here in July. Anything about commissions, royalties, and so forth. Maybe some of you have just recently started something new and now looking, you know, at what those commissions can bring you. In that case, well, that should be exciting to see exactly what it can bring you. Why? Jupiter is here. Jupiter can help you and it can expand you, but like I said, if you only have thoughts about it without putting action in, you know, then the result will be thereafter. Now, I'd like to say, until July 17th, I'd say get it out there, Why? Because then Jupiter is going to leave this area. You've had a full year to look at how you can expand and grow from your potential. But then after July 17th, Jupiter is moving into the 9th house. So you won't have that shot for another 12 years. So any good new ideas that you have, you know, is good now to get going with. But then the good news, when Jupiter changes sign, and it's going to be here between this summer and summer of next year, Jupiter is going to expand a huge area for you. It's you now focusing, angling yourself out into the world at large, okay? This whole year has been about what resources you have or haven't had. Some of you might have felt the big pinch this year because Jupiter normally would, you know, enlighten this area in a positive sense and grow it for you. But because of that grand square we had here for a few months going on, might have just gypped you from getting to where you want to go. However, that pressure is out. And the beauty is, as it gets into that 9th house, that is the world at large. Suddenly, it's like feeling you have your wings back. Okay, so you're going to lift, you're going to rise. It's moving into your sister sign of Leo. It's a fire sign. It's going to work excellent there with you. It's going to be trining your sun sign for an entire year. And your sun being the 1st house, having this come in from the 9th house, it's like the world will be at your fingertips, Sagittarius, okay? So for this whole coming year until next summer, make it work for you. In any way, shape, or form you can make it work. This is where you want to draw from. And the beauty of it, whatever it is you're doing right now, Mars has been setting you up ever since December 8th of last year, 2013, in the area of groups and networks, social networks and so forth, which could also be the internet, you know, rules this area as well. So Mars right now is asking you before it leaves, and you know what, Mars is leaving us. It's been here for many, many months. So you've had an extended period to do your research here. Now it's going to be leaving on July 27th. So think about it this way, as Jupiter moves in on the 17th into that area of the world, Mars being there in that 11th house for social networking, this is doors that can open up and expand your world, right? So I'm excited for that potential. Why? Because right now, see, you have been searching and researching to find the golden key, so to speak, right? Because you got that Pluto in the 2nd house. So talent, skills, ambitions, and goals are there in your 2nd house for income. Now you're going to have the full moon that's going to hit you on the 12th. So pay attention to what happens on the 12th, as the key is going to be turned around in your lock. Okay, so you're going to see how this is going to affect your income, the personal income, and I feel it's going to release a whole lot of energy. Very exciting time for you, especially because this full moon Pluto is going to be opposing, you know, the sun, Mercury's in there, later on the new moon, Jupiter, that's already there. It's going to really allow you to look at the potential of income, not just monthly, day-to-day income that you're going to get, but also the residual income that can come from that 8th house, okay, royalties, commissions, whatnot. So I'm feeling that bankers or employers or whoever it is that's going to be investing into you, whatever you start now, the potential, because Jupiter is there, as this starts, has the power to carry you through in a new 12-year cycle. It hasn't been here for 12 years. So this whole last year, you have had the ability and the chance and the opportunity to look at new horizons and how you can grow this field. Now it's up for you to take the golden goose by the neck and say, this is it. Because also, what I'm loving to see is that Uranus, the planet of change, new beginnings, the shift of consciousness, thinking outside of the box, rebelling against the old, it's in your creative house. So when, and also in the sister sign, because it's in the sign of Aries. And Aries, I have to say, is the entrepreneur. This means for you to take that entrepreneurial energy of Aries and use Uranus to shift whatever it is you have. in the area of the fifth house, which is creativity. Now that is where that golden goose comes from, because some of you are very talented, Sagittarius, and Uranus can turn that or shift it for you overnight. That is the amazing thing about the power of Uranus. And by thinking outside of the box, using the Uranian concept, which is technology, so for you, technology, creativity equals what? It equals that you have something now that you can go in and birth and create money up in that second house and bring an income stream in for the second house. So you see how you have both sides connected to how you can solve a lot of maybe the bottleneck that you feel that you might have been a little stuck in here since December. I hope this all makes sense to you, but your planets are aligned such now, and when Mars moves out of your area here on the 27th, well, just know that it's given you the extra time ever since December to look at this matter now. If you don't act on it by now, Mars is not coming back before 2 more years. So if you're smart, you will take that propellant, this ignition, to start things now so that you can make the most out of it. So even though it moves out into your 12th house, doesn't mean that it's not going to be with you, because it's going to be powering throughout your whole chart here, full round 2 years. But it's all about at least initiating now. And as long as it's initiated, things can grow from it. I'd like to say here on the 4th, it is a day where I think that you will come to see that there's a major decision that you're making personally here, and it's all about taking a stance of transforming your life one way or another. The 7th will come up with an unexpected surprise, and oh my God, it does have to do with something within your partnerships, and an unexpected creative twist and turn. This could also be a romantic thing between you and your husband, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, something coming up. Now on the 9th, we have the Sun and Saturn trine, where you're putting something into very firm writing, you're locking something in. This trine with Saturn is you and an agreement that you make that has the power to carry you through for the long haul, all right? And it's something, once again, I feel, creative, spiritual, talent, skills, because that 12th house is Piscean. Saturn has been here for a year and a half to help you master the creativity and the trusting of self to bring these things up and out. Now, between now and for as long as Saturn's going to be here, which is going to be sometime December, mid-December, you will see that you're on an upward hill climbing towards these ambitions. Now, Saturn has been retrograde for the last 5 months, slowly moving here, slowly triggering, bringing back up from the depths of who you are into focus again and realigning itself. Now, this Saturn is going to be moving direct here this month from July 21st. Yay! We've been waiting for that for a long time. Why? Because it's going to set you on the forefront of motion. You're going to be back in the driver's seat and bringing this creativity along with you, all right? Because you're going to see now that when Saturn at the end of the year is going to come through across your rising sign, it's going to go out of the 12th into your first house, you're going to have Saturn with you for 2.5 years. And that is when any sign having Saturn visiting, just like the Scorpions now, they're having Saturn in their sign, you will feel it, you know. Then it's going to be all about carrying the responsibility upon your shoulders to carry forward, lift and rise and live with that responsibility and project it out into the world. That's you showing the world what you're made of, your capabilities. But then, you know, you haven't been in this place for 28 years. This is from time of mid-December onwards. So we're going to talk more about it when we get there. But this is what you're preparing for now. The more you prepare for now, the more you will be ready when December comes around for the next 2 years. So let's talk about the 13th. It is a day that is quite romantic. Venus and Mars is going to do the dance, and so you want to put that on your calendar. I see that this is going to be a wonderful, I'd like to say, heartfelt, communicative, sharing type date that you can put in. You might be out and about in town, because it's also sharing yourself here out with in a group of friends, perhaps, or at least where there's a crowd of people around you. Then we have the 19th. I see a very strong spiritual but also creative day for you, Sagittarius. Great time to have that talk that is heartfelt, open, but also with aspects of visionary possibilities, okay, on the 19th. You might feel really antsy here this day while the Sun and Mars are at it with each other, kind of really wanting now to push through. So you're like this racehorse at the gate. Now on the 22nd, Mercury and Pluto are going to have the same talk that the Sun and Pluto had on the 4th. So if you're not quite sure, go back and think what happened on the 4th. This is pretty much the same scenario resurfacing on the 22nd, and then on the 28th, not only is Mercury going to visit Pluto like the Sun did, now Venus is going to visit with Pluto on the 28th. Same thing. So we have the self, we have the mind, and we have our emotions, or also money, on the very same degree throughout this month. So we see a theme here, and if you can catch the theme, then you're ahead of the game. You won't be taken by surprise, and in fact, you could be the one orchestrating these things to come forward. And it's so empowering because Pluto is the key of transformation. So you'll see this month is very, very important for you for the major changes that are coming that I know that you've been waiting for. And on the 24th, Venus and Neptune, the same creativity that I see Mercury is tuning in. On the 19th, you're going to feel on the 24th. So yeah, the second half of July, it's going to be exciting for you, Sagittarius. So this is what we have for you. Make sure that the full moon there on July 12th is something you're taking note of. It has the power to affect your finances. Then the new moon on July 22nd in the 8th house for commissions, royalties. See what that's going to do for you as well. Or the money that you hold in joint resources with a partner. So listen, I wish you a beautiful July. Have a happy one. Listen to your moon and rising sign, and I'll see you again in August.